What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the difference between a five-star wide receiver and an NFL wide receiver. So we're going to be showing some examples here of a five-star wide receiver running routes and compare and contrast that to two NFL-specific routes. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it can teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you're maybe not sure what you should do on the field drill-wise to work on your route running, your press releases, your hands, and you want a specific schedule, check out that very first link in the description below for our 8-week wide receiver on-field workout plan. It's a 200-plus wide receiver drills with video examples of each drill and the sets and reps to go behind them on a day-to-day basis. We make the schedule pretty much for you, fellas. So check out that very first link below if interested. Let's get started. So this first route here is a goal line fade from Zachariah Branch. So Zachariah Branch, five-star wide receiver out of Bishop Gorman. I believe he is going to USC. Now let's take a look at this goal line fade. I'm going to play it one more time. Now, if you're familiar with this page, you already know what this guy needs to do. He needs to get into the cushion of the DB. So reason why I include this and the reason why I show you this stuff is, oftentimes the five-star recruits are, heavily publicized, right? And for good reason. They're freak athletes. They know how to run routes. And we're going to get to some good examples of Zachariah Branch's route running in a second. But also I will show this to showcase that, these are still high school wide receivers. They have to work on the same things that a lot of high school wide receivers have to work on. So the gap between the two of you guys is not necessarily that far from a route running perspective. So when I have this inside shade guy, I have an inside shade DB, and I got to go run a goal line fade. What do we need to do, especially when we were lined up on the bottom of the numbers? You have to threaten his leverage. So he's lined up inside leverage for a reason. He's expecting the slant. He's got no help. His help is the sideline. So if I have to run a fade, I have to do everything possible to try to threaten him to that leverage to give me more space for my QB. So what Branch does is he just kind of gives a little hesitation jab to the inside. There's really not much of a closed space. Even if that jab that he throws to the inside got that DB to sit a little bit, he still has to get here. He still has to get vertical, and this DB could take a good angle and stop that fade all day long because we did not close the space. What he could have done here to make it an easier throw on the QB, to make it easier on himself, is off the line, instead of kind of just like pausing right there, maybe we attack. Maybe we push off of this back foot, reach with the front foot, and we get into this DB's cushion, then fake to the inside. That might move him and allow us to get a step or two on him to where this QB can drop it right in the bucket. But when we don't do that, fellas, and I just kind of give this move and go run to the outside, and now again, he probably gets away with this against a lot of DBs because he's just straight up faster than him. He's an insane athlete, so he probably can just run around guys. But at a certain point, when you're going up against a disciplined DB who knows what he is doing, that will not work. So let's play this full speed, and then we're going to show an NFL example of this same specific route. So just make sure, fellas, when we have that situation, get into the DB's cushion to win. Okay, so now, next example here is going to be Brandon Ayuk, and he's going to be running this same kind of fade. So we got inside shade coverage. The only difference on this one, I'd say, is that maybe he's a little bit further off. This is like he's about 3 to 4 yards off. The last example was maybe about 2 to 3. So main thing about this I want you guys to see is how much Ayuk attacks his leverage and closes space. So let's play this full speed. So he full-fledged gets right into his cushion, head fake inside, and then wins on this fade. So that is exactly what I'm talking about. We have, again, he's inside shade for a reason. He's there to stop the slant. So we want to make it actually look like a bad slant route. Like I'm just trying to come up to him and then just run off in front of his face because he is taught, do not give up the inside. So this is textbook. This is exactly what you have to do on that goal line fade. You see how he attacks him, closes the space, and now when he throws this crossover, watch where he's threatening. He's actually threatening outside the DB's frame. His hips and shoulders are going. That's what gets that DB to move, fellas. You guys just trying to beat him with speed and just run around him, that's not going to fly, like I said, at a certain level. If you try to do that type of thing in the NFL, DB will lock it up every time. Because if you're a starting corner, if you're one of the starting, 64 guys that they have in the NFL playing corner, you are very talented. You're incredibly disciplined. All those guys are. All those guys would lock up any high school wide receiver. But if you want to play at that level, you have to start treating the game that way. You have space to create to the outside by attacking a DB's leverage. We need to do that. That's something that a college coach wants to see on film. That's something that any wide receiver coach wants to see on film. So this is a perfect example of that from Ayuk attacking the leverage and closing the space, number one, with this DB. Even if, let's say he attacked his leverage, but he stopped right here and he threw a good head fake to the inside, DB might jump, but he's still got to get to this back pylon. And that DB has a better angle than we do to that back pylon because we didn't close the space. Have to close the space, and you have to threaten him to the inside. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job attacking the leverage, throwing that move inside, and then winning on that goal line fade. All right, so now we're going to be talking about this post route here from Zachariah Branch out of kind of like the slot or a reduced split where he's cut down a little bit closer to the quarterback. So this is a great route. This is a textbook route, and this is one of those things. This is those parallels that you see from some of these top 5-star guys and some NFL guys. There are things that they need to work on, but there are also things that they're extremely, extremely good at. So let's play at full speed. So we got outside shade. He attacks the outside shade, takes what the DB gives him release-wise, and closes, or not necessarily closes, but gets skinny on the stem of the route. So when I come up to the line, let's say, for example, Zachariah Branch is playing outside. He's playing outside receiver in this case. Quarterback is to his left, but he cut his split down to where he's closer to the QB. So if I'm a DB, why would a wide receiver cut his split down? Probably to run an outside route. Not saying he couldn't run an inside route, but probably to run an outside route. And in a real game, this DB will probably have safety help to the inside. So he'll have some kind of help, like, whether it's a linebacker dropping into coverage, like maybe a robber look, or whether it's a safety. So as a wide receiver, I got to understand that. I got to know that, okay, he's probably going to do whatever possible to not let me take this outside release. Even if it's an outside breaking route, I have to take what he gives me in terms of the inside release. So Branch attacks leverage, right? He gives him a move. He doesn't necessarily close the gap as much as I would like to see, but he does give him a move. Holds this DB to his leverage. So now he can take this free inside release. Now, one of the things that elite route runners, elite wide receivers in general understand is that separation is won and lost at the top of the route. Your press release, people love to talk about press releases, and I'm included. I put out a lot of content about press releases, but I don't put out those press release videos and descriptions and all that stuff to help you guys get separation. I put that out there to help you get off the line so you can get separation at the top of the route, because that's where you have to execute a plan. Everybody talks about a plan at the top, coming up to the line. You put on that Terminator mask, as Devontae Adams likes to say, but top of the route, you also need a plan for how this guy plays. It's more like reactionary. So obviously, I take this inside release. I got to run a post. If he's outside shade, what does he have to the inside? Probably safety help. So I have to get skinny. I have to get into his cushion. I have to actually try to dip that shoulder and almost run into him. Because now I have a choice to react. I could either work to restack, where he's trailing my back hip, or I could get into his frame and almost use my upper body as kind of like a tool to push off without actually pushing off. So that's what Branch does. You see how he starts to angle that stem to the outside. That lean that he does with his upper body gets that DB to widen. Because remember, what's he expecting? He's expecting an outside breaking route. So he leans into him, breaks this thing off on the post, and you see the amount of separation that he's able to get. But also, this is a game realistic route. Because what's not game realistic is doing that move and then just taking off and running and staying in a straight line and breaking on the post. Because let me tell you this, anytime you see a DB in real outside shade press, he's completely fine with you running that post, taking a wide stem to the inside. So what? You got him off the line. Here running right into his safety, and that is exactly what he wants. So make sure we understand that, fellas, when we are faced with that look in a real-time game. So let's play at full speed, and then we're going to look at a clip of Justin Jefferson pretty much doing the exact same thing. That's a great route there from Zachariah Branch. Okay, so now this is a clip here from this past weekend. This is Justin Jefferson. And we have outside shade, press coverage. So what does that mean? He's probably expecting the outside route. Look at where Jefferson's split is. Here's the top of the numbers. He's further inside than the top of the numbers. So usually offenses love to run out route, come back, corner from a reduced split. So that DB's sitting outside shade to make sure that he doesn't give up too much room to the sideline. And again, what does he have inside? Safety help. So let's play this full speed. So Jefferson attacks leverage, closes the space, and you see that dip of the shoulder in that getting skinny to restack before that safety or whoever they have over the middle to make a play. So let's play this let's break this down, So outside shade, he attacks his leverage. He decides to go with this like wide step release where you step with your back foot, step outside the DB's frame, you give a little hip and shoulder fake to the outside to try to hold him. I don't need to break his ankles. I just got to hold him so I can get this free inside release. Now, this is where people go wrong. They do this type of move, they get that DB to jump, and then they stand straight up in the air and run to the inside. So what? You got that DB to jump. He's just going to recover because DBs work on their recovery speed and wall you right to that safety. So we get him to jump, but after I make that move, you got to stay low. You have to keep a low, explosive pad level position so you could almost dip that shoulder, rip his hands off. And now when I get up into the route, what's he doing? He's not just running the post. He's not just rounding it off. He's getting skinny until the depth of the post. He's getting back over the top, almost leaning into this DB at the break point so he could create space. That is exactly how you want to run that inside breaking route versus outside shade press. You have to threaten that leverage, take what he gives you to the inside, and then make that move at the top of the break. But get skinny or make sure we restack. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Jefferson attacking outside, taking that inside release, and then getting skinny to win on that post route. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. You guys help keep this channel going. Pretty much every video we make is based off of feedback we hear from you guys, so we definitely appreciate it, fellas. And again, if you'd like a full 2-month wide receiver on-field workout schedule, over 200+ wide receiver drills with sets, reps on a daily basis mapped out for you, check out that very first link below. I'll see you guys next time.